Hello. So I wanted to make this video because I've been having a lot of conversations with people recently about dreams. So I wanted to kind of cover that. So in the last video, we were talking about what perspective is, right? And how there is an overall perspective that is not hindered by time, space, or object. And knowledge filters through that quite easily. And then it filters through even more on the conscious plane, where we are limited to time, space, and objects. So our lower mind then chooses to focus that perspective and create sensory perception, right? Which is based off of the senses, which generally involves the ego. Now, when we're talking about the astral realm or the dream realm, the mental body, right, there are less limitations there. It is not based off of time, space, or object, but more of symbols, right? And a lot of times there are more subtle energies that are taking place of the subtle body, right? It's a different body, a different sheath, but it's still the same thing. So we're still filtering in this universal awareness, but now there are less limitations, which means there's a broader scope of what happens. And a lot of times in our dreams, we experience subconscious emotions that are remaining on the subtle realm that act out. Or we gain psychic connections to things because we're more connected, right, to that overall awareness. But generally, we're just receiving a whole bunch of information coming in, right? And our emotions are the things that guide it, right? But our emotions on the subtle realm. So I have been asked now by like 3 people, right, about dreams because they've been getting told by their friends that they're visiting them in dreams and they have no recollection of it. They're like, how am I visiting these people in their dreams, but I don't know about it? Well, here's my take on that, okay? And I'm only coming from my experience. But if someone's saying that you're appearing in their dream, or someone is appearing to you in your dream, it is most likely based off of a perception that you have that that person is representing for you. So, for example, when I first started a friendship with a homie of mine, right, I was having dreams with him in it, and they would sometimes get inappropriate, right? And I would be like, what the hell? But it wasn't him visiting me. What I knew was that it was my perception of what he represented. I had a longing to be with him, to be, and not in a relationship, but to be on his level, to be able to understand him, to share something with him. And so that manifested in the symbol of these dreams. So a lot of times, if you are changing on your conscious plane and your friends are seeing that and experiencing that, they may start to have dreams with you in them because they are now on those subtle levels perceiving you or feeling a longing for you as if you are moving away from them, and they want to gain that with you now. They want to share that with you. So on the subtle realms, this manifests as a dream with you traveling in it. You may not actually be there, but this is something that the perspective, that the awareness is filtering through, that their emotions are now using to focus on this specific part. If you are having nightmares while you're doing and you're consistent with your meditations and all that kind of stuff, I invite you to analyze them. Not with the rational mind, but with the emotions. Check out your emotional realm and how it connects to a memory that you may have that maybe has been existing on the subtle realm for quite some time. So I'm going to share another dream experience I had, right? I had been watching this sci-fi horror show, and in the show, there are these demons that break through windows and will eat you in your home at night, unless you have a type of sigil hanging from your door. In my dream, I had this sigil hanging from my door, but they still broke in. And just as they were about to eat me, in the dream, I became lucid, right? It became a lucid dream. And I was like, whoa, stop. What is going on? What did this represent? What does this represent to me? Now, I have been doing my cleanses and my meditations and all that kind of stuff. So lucid dreaming for me is almost like second nature. Like, it's very easy for me to lucid dream. So I also have been able to really kind of face death and not be scared of it anymore. I certainly don't want to die in an uncomfortable fashion, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily scared of death. So it wasn't even the death sentence in the dream that was freaking me out. So I was like, whoa, stop, demons. What is happening? And then in the dream, right, the demons were like, oh, she's thinking, hold on. And they stopped. And so in my dream, all of a sudden I start sifting through these records of my memories because I knew I needed to go into my memories. And I found a memory of when my father died and how I had felt these same feelings. I was supposed to have been protected. Home is supposed to be a place of security, and now it's not secure anymore. And there was nothing I could have done to have stopped it, to have stopped what happened. And I realized that I had been holding on to this subconscious memory, to the emotion of this memory for so long that when it came up, it manifested as this. This is why I was always scared of movies and shows where people are sleeping and these demons come in, or supernatural things where it seemed like no barrier was able to stop them from coming in and affecting you. You know, that feeling of powerlessness. I found the root as to where that powerlessness came from, and it came from a memory and an emotional hold. And so my perception that picked that up, the emotion guided that perception to that memory. And because I was able to practice lucid dreaming and all of that, I was able to bring it up and let it go. And we as humans feel a lot of emotions and have events that we may not be ready to let go of. So we may have reoccurring dreams or reoccurring occurrences that I invite you to analyze and find the emotional root to. So that's another thing that may happen if you're having nightmares. Remember, everything is based off of this awareness, this grander perspective that's filtering through the different sheaths of energy that make up our existence. Your dream is just another energy body that's playing out. I invite you to go into Shuddhi meditations before sleep so you can practice this cleansing period. Recognize that it's cleansing you on all levels, because it does. And then also use it to practice lucid dreaming so you're able to bring up, these emotional memories that maybe you have that you need to let go if you're ready to let go of them. Now, if two or more people are practicing, right, meditations and all that kind of stuff, and share a psychic link, which, by the way, whether you're practicing or not, if you're friends with someone, you're sharing a psychic link, okay? Because we're all on that, right? In the ultimate awareness, we're all sharing the same consciousness. So we all tap into that at different times. So, but if both of you are practicing, you may very well be able to pick up and share experiences, even though you may not necessarily be traveling to one another's dreams yet, because that actually is very direct and intense work. But you may be able to pick up each other's experiences. So for example, this same friend and I, right, who I was having dreams before, when we both started practicing these meditations and all of that, I would have dreams where like he would be having this fight with this girl, right, of a specific nationality, and I would see it, and she would turn into like some crazy vampire chick or something like that. And I'd tell him the next day, be like, dude, you were like totally hooking up with this chick who ended up being a vampire Russian spy, or something like that crazy. And he'd be like, yo, I just had a fight with my girlfriend who is Russian, and she, and we found out that we're on different paths and stuff like that. It's cool that you picked that up. So it doesn't mean that he was traveling to my dream necessarily, but that overall awareness, that psychic connection, we did share an experience. I also had dreams where I was in a city. And I remember I was practicing sparring and stuff like that. And I had another friend the next day who told me, yo, I saw you. I was in a city and I saw you being attacked. And I thought, ooh, I'm gonna help her out. And I started attacking them. I didn't pick up my friend who had visited me, right? I didn't pick up my friend. I didn't pick up her presence because that wasn't necessarily my intention, but she picked up mine. And she also picked up a similar experience I was having in my dream, although for me, it was more joyful, and for her, she saw it as conflict. So you may start to experience these things as you and your friends go on this journey of the Shuddhi meditations, of working with sigils, of gaining that higher consciousness. If you are on similar levels, if you're not, and one of your friends is actually maybe getting overwhelmed by how much you are advancing or something, you appearing in their dreams may be a representation of how emotionally they may feel about that experience with you. I'm losing my friend. I'm longing to be with them. I'm longing to be on that level. So I hope this kind of cleared some stuff up for you. Again, this is my perspective, because if we're talking about dreams, we're talking about solely experience, right? This is an experiential thing. So I do hope that this brought clarity, and I hope that if it didn't, well, then share your ideas about what could be happening if you appear in other people's dreams and so on and so forth. But anyway, that was a little thing on the dream realm. If you all want to see some more videos on this, I would love to do that. But as I mentioned, I really need to get into talking about prana, because prana is that link between the sheaths and the energy realms. It's the electromagnetic activity that happens, that we connect to all the time, that also affects our entire makeup. And if we have a better grasp of that and what's going on with that and able to connect to that, we have a lot more, I'm going to use the word control, even though it's not. We have a lot more control in how we work around nature. Instead of being solely manipulated by nature, we end up manipulating nature because we see it for what it is. So I'm going to still go into all of that because I think that's really important to incorporate into practice. But anyway, that's my note on the dream realm so far. There is obviously more, but I had to kind of limit it. And I just thought all these conversations that we were having are like so interesting that they're happening. And I think it's a natural thing that happens when you do reach those higher levels and you're no longer subjected to just living your physical life. You're now becoming aware of the other bodies of energy that you are. So, many blessings on your journeys. Congratulations on reaching these next levels. And I hope to hear your stories and your progressions. Many blessings. Bye.